Welcome to Sustainably Speaking Africa, a podcast about reshaping narratives around sustainability and climate action in Africa. This podcast is brought to you by the Kenya Climate Innovation Centre and is made at Semabox. Join us for this and other episodes as we talk to industry leaders, frontline communities, and the innovators who are accelerating the progress towards a greener, sustainable future. Welcome again to Sustainably Speaking, and as always, please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you very much for joining us once again in this particular episode. Today on Sustainably Speaking Africa, we are talking to one of the leading voices in the climate space, specifically in the climate entrepreneurship space, Bankole Oloruntoba, the CEO of the Nigeria Climate Innovation Center, speaking with us today on the sidelines of the Africa Climate Investment Summit. Thank you so much, Bankole, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's quite a pleasure to be back in Nairobi.
Fantastic to be back. So this is not the first time.
I mean, I love it. I mean, my favorite cities, Lagos, Nairobi, and then we can talk about the southern guys, but
all right.
Lagos, Nairobi.
Now, we're having this conversation on the backdrop and on the sidelines of a climate investment summit. Just as a pace setter for this conversation, why is this so important and why is this moment so significant?
I think there's been so much noise around how we can mitigate or adapt to climate. But if you look at it from the sustainability perspective, you get to understand that it is purely business. Because again, the climate economy has gone far looking at it from an impact perspective and not position yourself for the main investments. But right now, this is the right time for Africa to be able to put a stand to say we are here for business and not just to receive some level of, granting opportunities, there might be. And also, it helps us as a people to understand how the world is tilting and to also help us understand how to build the kind of economy that we need to build, because the climate economy doesn't have to be a rival economy to any other existing economies, in each of our countries, but it becomes an alternative economy, and it can grow, by the side of, whatever fossil fuel economy that we have. Because when you look at the concept around job creation, you're looking at resources, you're looking at national wealth and opportunities. Taking a hard stand like you have in Europe and some other countries around using, cleaner resources to build or, behaving in some level of cleaner way might just be a little bit different for us. And moreover, we're a communal group of people. And so we always have to look out for each other, no matter how the case is. So I think that with what, KCIC has launched and I'm sure we'll continue to drive annually, I think that it is that time where we don't need to wait, to be invited, because we have this saying in Nigeria that if you're not on the table, then that means you're the menu. So we cannot continue to be the menu. We really have to have that table. And there's no table for us, we have to create one. And that's what has happened today. We have created a table. And so this is the time for us to really play this game the way we think should be played.
Fantastic. You're speaking to a point that Africa should stop complaining from the sidelines and really be part of the conversation.
Yes.
And, if you watch, you're part of these conferences and part of these summits and even the global conversations, it almost seems that we always decry about, Africa being a low emitter but bearing the brunt of climate change, and sort of presenting just a moralist argument to other global powers.
Yeah.
So why is it so important that this narrative shifts from just arguing from a victim perspective to really a solutions-oriented?
I think the NGO group started this, and we really appreciate them for really bringing this to the forefront for us to understand that, there's so much injustice when it comes to climate.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you look at the narrative that has been pushed to us in Africa, it tells us, you have to use cleaner resources. You have to use, cleaner fuels. You have to use. But once we see a little bit of crisis in some regional, in some regions across the world, we see that return back to, fossil fuel and, and coal. And moreover, I think that the NGOs have done a good job by helping, set the tone of the morality of why we need to do the things we need to do because we have to do them, not because we have been told to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that the fact that we realize that this is purely economics, then our mind shape changed. And most of the conversations I see on a daily basis, because when we started the NCIC, I took a 1-week course with KCIC, to try and understand where exactly we play within this space. And it was glaring that this is purely economics. And so I think that has helped many of us to see that impact without finance really doesn't stand a chance. And so whenever you're having to, you want to discuss, impact, stop following the vibes, follow the money, right? That's where you get to understand how sustainability really, really works. Because if we Africans are not proud to do it the way we want to do it, not the way we have been told to do it. Because if you understand the narratives, right, within the European angle, they tell you, oh, this is how we do it in Europe. I think you guys too can do it that way.
Yeah.
But then when you look at Wakanda, Wakanda is Wakanda. It doesn't look like New York. It doesn't look like wherever Doctor Strange is from. And I'm using that fictional, representation, because if you understand the power of media, you get to know how it can shape thinking. I think if we take that cue to know that we can do things the way we want to do it, it doesn't have to be quiet. It doesn't have to be sane, like how everybody else is doing it. We can be boisterous. We can be noisy. We can be crazy. We can decide not to wear shirt and do it, but we are doing it. And is it working for us? If it's working for us, then that's fine. Because nobody owns the monopoly to how somebody else should behave. So I think that what we need to do in Africa is we need to be ballsy about what we're doing. And we need to take it by the horn and do it the way we want to do it. Let's do us. Right? Yes, we have drafts, we have, mentors, we have advisors. We've gone to Europe to see how things work. We've gone to America, we've gone to Asia and co. Yeah, they took their time. They've got their culture mixed with all that. So what's our own culture, right? So we have to mix our strategy and our request for finance, including our projects, align to how we live. So you can't be doing a project that really doesn't have an economic value. But just because you know that the resource is not coming from you, you rather do it because somebody else is giving you that resource. But if we are able to mobilize local capital and show the economic viability of whatever decision we want to take, either for renewable energy, for water, for gas, and name it, then you get to understand that you can really do this based on your dynamics. And I like what my country is doing, because when we flagged off our energy transition program, many people said that, oh, it won't fly. Nobody will take you guys serious. Oh, gas is not, we don't think gas is, part of, renewable energy and co. And Nigerian government say, well, that's your business. We've got tons of it. And there's absolutely nothing we're doing with it. And so if you don't want us to use it, then we will use it for what we want to use it for. Yeah. And then we kicked off quite a number of programs. We have our, our household LPG conversion programs. We have our CNG projects, because if we don't take that step and do it as it appeals to us, then we'll be running somebody else's race. And there's no how you will run somebody else's race that you will achieve something great, with your life. You must be able to design it to fit your own narrative, so that when you tell that story and when you take that step, it reflects who you are, right? So I think that Africa is in that position, and I see that strength in African governments. No matter how we get these funds from foreign organizations, I think that the more African governments take their step and their stand on many things, it will really help. And really it doesn't mean because someone gives you money you can't say no. You really can't say no. You can't say no. It's there. And we had a lot of development sector players at the beginning time of our energy transition plan really tearing it down, saying that, oh, based on global standard, who said it is global standard? Based on global standard, this wouldn't work. And I love my government because we don't listen to noises. We just go ahead and do what we need to do. Yeah. But now, when you look at the Nigerian renewable energy market, it keeps evolving and it keeps scaling, right?
Yeah.
From demonstration of small homes, you now have farms. You have a bank building the whole of their headquarters, using solar. You've got us looking at gas. Gas is powering vehicles. Is also giving us electricity and coal.
Yeah.
So I mean, for as much as we're a generator country, which we are not ashamed of, the point is we are generating our energy and we are using it and we're doing what we need to do with it. Whether it's not coming from the grid or it's coming from the sun or it's coming from gas, the point is we are not begging anyone for it. We have it and we're going to use it.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, what you said remind me of someone said that sometimes conventional wisdom is all convention and no wisdom.
No wisdom.
So it's not enough to just say that this is what's working in the global context. So let's just copy paste it to the African context.
You can't copy paste.
Yeah.
I know we have a hard task pushing recycling, right? So I'm the honorary consul to Finland in Lagos. And when I listen to my Finnish counterparts about when they started recycling conversation, this is about the 50s or 60s. I mean, I'm saying 50s, 60s? That's when you started recycling?
Yeah.
Okay. No wonder you can all live with it the way you are. I mean, we're just picking up.
We're just starting.
And so you can't muscle us to do it exactly the way you did it 50 years ago. So,
and I mean, you can't run someone's race and win. Because
exactly.
It's someone's race
not your race, So I think that there's a strong possibility for us to try and unlock multiple markets within the green economy. I mean, sometimes they call it sustainable economy, they call it climate economy, green economy, whatever it is called. But the point is, there's a whole lot of opportunity in renewable energy in whatever form, either for cooking, either for living, either for transportation. There are multiple ways for it. I think that each of our countries have got the market.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, we are pushing a narrative about $1 trillion economy. Naysayers are saying...
And that is just for energy or...
Just general. We want to have $1 trillion economy. We've been dancing around billion dollar economy for too long. Who says we cannot be motivated to want to have $1 trillion economy? Naysayers are saying, oh, but you see your structures, electricity and coal. Yeah, we say we know. But we're still going to push the narrative for $1 trillion economy. And so I think what we're doing, and we're seeing the sanctions from developing, from other countries, but we're not bothered. That's why we're opening up new opportunities with other countries.
Yeah.
So I think that nobody, again, I'll repeat it, nobody owns the monopoly to how we should act.
Absolutely. I'm inclined to agree. I mean, you lead the Nigeria Climate Innovation Center, so you sit right at the epicenter of this conversation. And I know you've spoken quite a bit on renewable energy, but alongside other sectors, you've been at the forefront of working with innovators, working with some of these novel ideas. And Nigeria has a very thriving, very prominent clean tech ecosystem, startup scene, and entrepreneurship scene.
Yes, we do.
Just paint for us, what is driving this momentum, and what is organizations like Nigeria Climate Innovation Center playing actively in this space?
So I think for us in Nigeria, the need to want to have additional resources is one thing that drives us. And the fact that we've seen an opportunity for business also is there. And I mean, I wouldn't say we're not really concerned about saving the world. We know, yes, we will save the world. Come on, we will save the world along the line. But somewhere in this case, there's a huge opportunity for us to create jobs, for us to sustain our economy, for us to feed mouths, and for us to boost new, or other economies that are not doing well, So why do we have to sit at the fence and wait for someone to tell us how to do it when we know exactly what is going on? So I really think that, for us in Nigeria, we have demonstrated that this is a purely economic opportunity. Yes, we came from the advocacy, activism and co, which a lot of NGO people are still doing.
Yeah.
And their work is very relevant in helping, private sector to be able to get either access to finance or get a whole new market going on. Because, the UN, the UNFCCC policy and the NDCs as well are some of the things that is guiding some of the kind of, results that we have. And because we have a private sector that is always looking for new opportunities every time, then it gives us that chance. And then our population also comes in. Our population is huge and it's exploding by the year. We are currently in estimated over 200 million, and we're still growing. So in likely 2030, 2040, we're likely going to be 300 or 400. Already, whatever plans that we've had in the last 5, 10, 20 years cannot sustain whatever is coming. So we have to try multiple things.
Yeah.
And in the process of trying multiple things, we might win some, we might learn some, but we never lose. So there's a constant saying I tell everyone, including my kids, everybody. I say, look, you win some, you learn some.
Never lose.
The day you consider that you've lost, then you've lost. So you win some, you learn some. So I think in our country, we're winning some, we're learning some, and we're also reviewing whatever strategy that we're using. I think the president that we have now is doing a fantastic job, to put us on the right path. Opening up opportunity for businesses, selecting the right persons, to be in charge of, programs. Updating policies, because we have fantastic policies in my country, but I think sometimes implementing them could be a bit weird, but we'll try. But I think with what the new government is doing is that he's trying to decentralize, expectations and also deliverables, so that the eyes don't focus on just the center. Regionally, everybody should be able to defend and also produce and also create for itself. In a long time in Nigeria, this is about the first time or the first year that our federal allocation, because there's this money states share, every time we declare profit as a country. So, I mean, this time we're seeing trillions of naira. We used to see billions of naira.
I'm curious to understand that system where the country declares profit.
You have to pay me so I'll consult. I can teach you. So we have this thing called FAC, F-A-A-C, Federal something allocation, something like that. So that comes up from all of our internal generated revenue, tax and whatever offshoot of extra, funds that we've made, either from oil proceeds, from tax, for whatever it is. Because again, we consider ourselves also as a business, right? And then the states also need resources. So instead of encouraging states to go borrow funds like past governments do, we boosted all the different systems that is supposed to increase our internal, our internally generated revenue. And then it allows the states to be able to do more. So you have more, you have states having over 3 times what they used to get, 4 years ago.
Oh.
And so there are a lot more resources, to play around. So, and the federal government is putting it out there so that everybody knows what goes to their state. So your state governor don't sit in one corner and say, "Oh, we didn't get money," but then the federal government releases it every time there's a little sharing of resources. So I think that Nigeria is capable of scaling its own economy. And for us at NCIC, remember when we started, it was part of a World Bank program, like everybody else, but it was shipped off from the vice president's office.
Yeah.
So again, it came from the top, knowing that there's a whole new 8 years ago, the vice president then understood that with what I've seen across Africa or what World Bank is doing, particularly what he saw with Kenya and Ghana, it was clear to him that this is a whole new economy that we have to stimulate. And so we designed, we worked with World Bank. I think we literally bullied World Bank to say, look, why would you have something in Ghana? And I love my Ghanaian brothers. But Nigeria, we were very crazy. We are like that annoying friend you have that always try to tell you that he can do better. So, I mean, I think the story I heard was...
We consider Ghanaians the polite Nigerians.
Yes, they are polite. They are our brother. We love them. So I think the story I learned from the presidency was, we went for a program.
Yeah.
World Bank demonstrated what they were doing. They showed us how it was going to change and revolutionize economies. And we asked one simple question: why are you not doing it in the largest black nation in the world? It doesn't make sense. With all due respect, it really doesn't make sense. Because all the problems you have listed, we have them in billions, right? So where else should now be the best place for you to test some of these things?
Yeah.
And so when we took over, my friends called me and told me, hey, this is the idea.
Yeah.
What do you think? Well, I started the 3rd innovation hub in Nigeria called Inspire Incubator. It was a digital innovation hub, and it was being run by the Abuja Technology Village. It was supposed to be a free zone for like a science and tech park for a free zone. And so when I was called to say, look at this concept note, tell us what you can do. And my first question is, do you want me to run it? Right? If you want me to run it, just tell me you want me to run it, and then I'll do anything you want me to do. Right? So I took that piece of paper because of my experience in building hubs, and I supported quite a number of hubs also to set up in multiple states.
Yeah.
When I ran Inspire in 2013, 2014, based on the questions and the feedback, I knew that everybody else would want to start a hub in Nigeria. So I set up something called Network of Incubators and Innovation Hubs, innovators in Nigeria. And that network supported quite a lot of other states in Nigeria to be able to set up some hubs and co. And these are purely private sector guys, not government guys. So when we took up the NCIC, the first thing we knew is that we needed to build an ecosystem. And I've always prided myself as an ecosystem builder because you need to understand that government, private sector, academia, development sector, innovation sector, you need to be able to itemize who and who they are. These 5 groups of people make up any solid ecosystem. Because when you look at government, what we saw is that domestic government is very important. And in Nigeria, domestic government is broken into federal, state, and local. And we also know that we have a lot of foreign governments who are also interested in our economy. And they will do anything to always get a piece of the pie, right? And so they are ready to support. So we considered that. We looked at private sector and we took 2 major factors, finance and manufacturing, because money drives everything and somebody must create something. So we took finance and manufacturing. Those were the 2 major points we took. And then we took development sector, anyone else around NGO, DFIs and co fall into that space. We took academia because CICs are based in universities, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So we took that part and we're glad again that the World Bank made sure it was a business school so that we can leverage on that whole business school clout. So we're located in Lagos Business School. And then we looked at, around innovation sector. Because we know that innovation sector is where you find the startups, the SMEs. So these are like private sector, but they don't have money. They're the private sector guys that don't have money. They're constantly looking for money. So they are different from the private sector group that we designed. And so when we got to understand this, well, we made a few calls, set up a few programs, launched a few things, visited KCIC, saw how the program was. And then, I think that visit to KCIC, that 1 week I spent was a strong eye opener for me. Then it was Edward Mungai that was heading it then, but Felix was still here then. So the interaction was smooth. There were a lot of advice, both off tape and on tape, that this is how you should run this. This is kind of, skill sets you should have. These are the kind of people you should have around you. And because I'm a proponent of lean business model, right? I knew that I needed to start small and then grow within the lines. And so that's what we did. So we got in touch with the government community, almost everybody else, that we could speak with. Divided our financing model because our finance didn't come the way every other person's finance came. We made it a multi-project, multi-partner kind of system. And then we make sure that we could charge people for services. So the kind of registration we have is the kind of registration that does not allow us to share profit, but then we can provide services. It's called a limited by guarantee in Nigeria. And so with that, it was easy for us to be able to consult for a few other business, design trainings and and co. And then we got the show off the road. And ever since we didn't look back from that 2019 because we started in October 2018. That was the first day I entered the office. I still have that picture. And by October 2019, we had already given about 8 people $10,000 already, right? And we're going to give another 8 the next year, and we're going to give another 8 the third year. So we saw where our projection was, we saw where our growth was, but we needed to make sure that we had the right team. COVID was a mess up, but we survived.
You're still here, so.
We're still here. So COVID helped us understand that we could actually run an incubation program virtually. So we did our incubation program. The second part 2 of the funding, we did 2020 incubation virtually.
How do you navigate the risks around due diligence and not getting the right?
We did it. I don't know how we did it, but frankly, I can't remember how we did it, but we did it. We called everyone that needed to be called. We did video calls consistently. We asked for scans. We did background check verification, called people who might know you, who you banked with. We did all those different things via calls. Because again, you have to live. You see, if you work in a place like Nigeria, your strength is your network.
Yeah.
Right? That's your strength. you can you can sit here and tell me you want to see the president, and all I need to do is to call someone that works with the president, and you will see the president.
I need to see the president the next time I come
I will
to
call
Nigeria.
someone for you to see the president. There's no problem. But just make sure you have something to sell.
I'll definitely have something to say.
Cool.
You pride yourself as an ecosystem builder, and you
Yes.
speak about what you were able to achieve even at the, when NCIC was being formed, bringing together all these innovators, these hubs, aggregating them. Speaking now at a continental scale, what opportunity, what potential do you see? I mean, you've seen what KCIC is trying to do with a Pan-African strategy, working with partners across the board. From that experience as an ecosystem builder, what opportunity do you think Africa is sitting on, or, that can be exploited in the context of sustainability, in the context of climate entrepreneurship, so that you can achieve success at scale?
Yeah, I think because we are still at that stage where we need to develop new markets, that gives us chance to be able to do more. Because we are not saturated yet.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying Africa is the next frontier. I hate that line. I don't resonate well with that line. I don't even care. We are here, we're living. So don't tell me I'm the future. I am here.
Yeah.
Right? And I need to do what I need to do.
I'm
to
here
to
now.
fit. Now. So can I just deal with you now and stop telling me about the future?
Yeah.
So I think that Africa has got that market where we can literally just bootstrap and scale in a short time, right? Because when you look at the history of renewable energy and all those different things, it took quite many of them a while to get to where they are. But look at Africa in 5 years, basically.
Yeah.
See what we've done around renewable energy market. And the same thing is what was going to happen with all the other new markets that we're coming up with. EV market will, at its own time, crawl under our skin, and we'll take it as part of life.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, no matter how, when you look at these things, again, pricing economics still play a major factor. And I think that the more businesses that we create in Africa and the more access to resources that we create in Africa is also good. I think that the capacity building needs to reduce, and we should focus a lot more on capability. So capacity is one, too many capacity building funds, but no capability funds. So I teach you how to run a business, but I cannot give you funds to push the business forward.
Yeah.
Right? It's like someone saying that, Pastor, I'm hungry, and you say, let me pray for you. Just give the guy food and let him eat.
And then you can pray later.
And then you can pray later. So I think that there's a whole opportunity for us in unlocking all the multiple markets that we have. And because African population is expanding, they will always be consumers for these things. So I think that Africa shouldn't follow that narrative of, the fear of missing out. I think that we have the right resources to be able to push the right groups of people. We have the mindset, we have the brilliance, we have the private sector, we have the policies, we have an exuberant, youthful population that I think is scaring everybody, and I think that our youths are beginning to see their power as well, So I think this is a good time for us in Africa to be able to look at the different markets that we have and create programs and activities that can stimulate all those markets. Because the circular economy market is still bigger than what we think it is. Everybody talks about plastic, but people forget that there's farm waste, there's food waste, there's fashion waste. As long as there's a consumption, there's bound to be waste. And as long as there's a waste, that becomes a resource for something else.
You mentioned about bootstrapping, that Africans, we can really do this on our own. And you speak quite strongly on the potential that the continent has. Earlier, I think you mentioned about the fact that we can advance locally led development rather than waiting for global templates that may not work in the African context. But still, a lot of financing when it comes to sustainability, when it comes to climate action, still comes from the global north. And even that funding is shrinking. What do you think is the opportunity as far as locally led development is concerned, as far as mobilizing African finances is concerned? What's the opportunity there?
So the opportunity there for me will be the trading, right? Africa needs to trade more with itself. We all want to export to Europe. Yeah, we know it's good money, Europe pays well. But now the EUDR is coming. It's going to stifle a lot of people who are not based on a particular framework.
Yeah.
So when you look at the role of policy in unlocking markets and also stifling markets, then you know how to anchor your own playbook to make sure that the policies you have are developmental focus, not stifling kind of policy. For instance, in Nigeria, which is the only place I can give example, in Nigeria, we came up just before this government started. The last president announced that everyone can, he wants to decentralize power generation. I mean, states, and we have 36 or 37 states, you can generate your own power as long as you have your consumption for it. And so that enables states to look for the resources that they need. And that enables private sector to say, this state needs this, they need energy, and you can't go wrong with energy. So local finance is backing up, needs, and wants. Now, foreign capital, no matter how much we try, it's good. I mean, it's nice money, right?
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be the core of our strategy, because foreign capital is trying to invest, and they see us as that new market where they can put their money in, and in another 10, 20 years, they can be sure to still be within the play of things. And that's what we're saying, right? And so what we need to do at this space is also create systems for our own companies also to be able to thrive when it comes to ownership. Because when you look at startups in Africa currently, I'm sure over 60% or 70% of startups are owned majority ownership by foreign organizations.
Okay.
So I think that being able to allow local market or domestic market, trade, allowing countries trade within themselves also helps.
Who should allow? Who should do the allowing?
It's countries.
Yeah. So we
need to make that decision as so African other countries. I mean, for me, I always say that in Nigeria we are open to business, and that's why we go everywhere. and then people play hate us and say, yes, you guys just come to take over everything. No, it's because we saw the opportunity, and everybody else is slow about it, and we understand the concept of credit. See, and let me use my Igbo brothers. My Igbo brothers understand fundraising. They understand credit system. They understand the fact that if I take these goods from you, I'm already indebted to you. So the only way I can pay back is to sell. I will make money, you will make money. Sales or return. Simple policy. So a young boy works with you for 4 years, 5 years, and you say, okay, you've done enough. You have graduated from my little mentorship or incubation program. And it's a standard practice. You finish 4 years. If you don't have money to help the kid set up, you will give him almost part of your inventory to start his business. And when you find out, many of these guys call their company your company name. So if you go down the street and you see A, B, and C, and you go down the street, you see another A, B, and C, it's the A, B, and C down the street is not owned by the first A, B, and C guy. But because the second A, B, and C trained with him, he's using that name to expand the trade and expand business. So if another kid comes to Ghana, he will still use A, B, and C. And then he comes in Ghana and say, we have offices in Nigeria, we have in Ghana. So when the head honcho, the main A, B, and C goes to shop in China, he buys enough for everybody else to sell. Wow. So you see that business.
For all the subsidiaries.
For all the so-called subsidiaries.
And then the offshoots of
these offshoots, these are just basic understanding. Like I come with 20 boxes, I keep 10 for my own first A, B, and C shop. The other 10, I divide it amongst you guys. I give you basic cost price. And then yours is to sell. You make your money, you send back my money, and then I go and buy more.
All right.
So again, you understand that whole business perspective. So I think that if we are able to trade, allow each other to trade, and this is not government trading. Government trading will come along. But I think between ourselves, if Kenyans see Nigeria as a destination market, why not come? It's open. We're not that bad. We are just nice people. We just like to make money, and we don't want you to be sleeping on opportunities, right?
We're not that bad doesn't sound very convincing, but
it's okay. Everybody's bad, in one very weird way. But for us, it's just about business, and we really just want to make ends meet.
All right, absolutely. You mentioned earlier that the climate conversation, and as we wrap this up, that the climate conversation really is about business.
Yes.
It's about growing the economy.
Yes.
In many instances, it almost felt like we have to choose between climate action and economic growth. But you are at the epicenter of initiatives that prove that you can achieve both.
Yes.
Just briefly, debunk that myth.
It should not be a this or that.
Yeah.
It should be this and that. Because, I mean, it's a mixture of so many things. So the funders will tell you climate action, climate justice. That's what you need to pursue. We need to hold companies responsible. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to end plastics. We need to ban single-use plastic. And my question is, for you plastic recycling guy, if we ban single-use plastic, how do you get resources? How do you recycle plastic? So for me, my unconventional thinking is that we should listen to what everybody's saying, but we should also listen to ourselves and know what exactly plays for us. Because if you're telling me to ban plastic outrightly, I can tell you over 100 companies that wait for you to finish drinking that water so that they could put it into their system, grind it or whatever they want to do with it and use it for something else. I said, so when you hear some narratives or some policies, try and understand from what perspective, right? For us, jobs, there's a lot of jobs that still needs to be created. Nobody will create these jobs for us. We still have to create it by ourselves. There are a lot of issues around policy, family, and even simple issues like travels that needs to be stated out and really clarified. But I think that some of the best possible models for us as Africans will be that we take the problems that we have and not turn it into a swan song, but then use it as a tool for us to be able to create opportunities. I mean, I see some of my countrymen go somewhere, and once you give them a microphone, they just want to complain. Our government is this, our government is that. Everybody's government has got problems. Even my friends who won happiest country in the world, when I talk to them, they're like, yeah, you don't see most of us smiling. But then when you look at the process, it's because people can trust government. Right? The core component of Finland winning happiest nation in the world is because systems work. In their own perspective, that's the system that works, right? But you cannot compare 5 million or 6 million people, right?
To 200 million in Nigeria.
To 200 million people. So you see that it's not a this or that. It has to be this and that. So anything we learn, take it. It's called reverse engineering. We hear you. This is what you do. No problem. We come home. We look at all the dynamics. We know it wouldn't go this way, possibly because of cultural behavior. So we can take it this other way. So that's my 2 cents or 2 kobos. If you
it doesn't have to be this or that. It has to be this and that. Fantastic.
Yes.
In one sentence, paint for us your vision for a continental alliance around climate innovation. In one sentence, what's your vision that you see?
Around climate innovation?
Yes.
My continental goal will be Africa commercializing African research. We're sleeping on our research, and it's really annoying. We're sleeping on our research. We need to endow a bit more research. We need to get more of our kids doing science. We need to get more of our children to do science. And not medical doctor or nurse or something, no. Physics, chemistry. We need to get molecular biology. We need to get our kids doing more science. We need to look at scientific solutions and upgrade them, fund them, and sell. Because it sells, right? Because the only way sustainability of innovation will be based on research and data. So if we design some way of getting more businesses to fund scientific programs, which a lot of businesses already do, but it's not unified as the way it should be, right? But if we can get involved in science a little bit more, I think Africa can really raise its shoulder wherever it is, because you can't take a solution that affects Kenyans and expect the Chinese to be able to develop it. It's not their problem. They probably just listen to you. And they think, all right, if we take it from here, you might just be able to do it this way, and then we'll make money bottom line.
And probably they'll also be looking at something in it for themselves at the end of the day.
Look, bros, like we say in Nigeria, bros, everybody has something in need for themselves.
Absolutely.
There's no free lunch in Freetown. Even to get to heaven, you must give your soul to Jesus Christ.
And on that note, we want to conclude this conversation, but I'm curious if you can just leave us with one Nigerian proverb that captures this moment that you can think of, or a saying.
Person where they plan for the world, no say the world on the plan for am tete.
Come again?
Person where they plan for the world, no say the world on the plan for am tete. Meaning that the person that has been planning for the world fails to realize that the world has been planning against them a long time ago. So, which means no matter what you do, just do. Don't assume you have the biggest solution that can change a revolution. Like, just do the little part where you can do and move forward. So I think that if we keep doing the small we can do, it might not be refined. It might not look as fine as how it would look like in Europe or in US or in Asia. But the fact that we did, that matters.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, sir.
No matter what, just do.
Just do.
Bankole Oloruntoba.
Yes, sir.
Nigeria Climate Innovation Center CEO. Thank you so much for joining us on
It's
this
my pleasure.
episode. Fantastic.